Nikita, Ileana, Abhishek, Kookie, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate.
Thank
Everyone
you.
safe and sound.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. I'll start with you, Kookie. This is such an interesting, fascinating story that we all know. We keep hearing new things. The story keeps coming back to us, every few years. Either someone's telling you or it comes in form of a show or a book or something like that. What is it about this story that's fascinating even now when we hear it again?
Well, the story that we have has a certain amount of obviously a fictional element to it.
Right.
So there is something that is going to come to you that's going to be hopefully very new and something that you've not seen. But yeah, the story about a character that made it from rags to riches has been told for eternity. But obviously everything that we've brought here has something, I'm hoping something new, but even if it's something old, something told in a very different way. So I think that that in itself will be something new for people to watch. The way the journey, is something that is very personal in this film.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that is, it's more of a character's journey and what happens to that person. So that is something that's going to be very new and something very good for people to watch.
Right. Abhishek, loved the trailer and loved your performance in the trailer as well. And, and both of you also. Abhishek, to you first. What is the kind of greed that he has? He says he wants to be the richest person, the fastest to be the millionaire or something. What is the kind of greed? How much money is enough money for him?
Well, that was a very nice scene actually that Kookie had, where he's dining with his wife, his brother, and his sister-in-law.
Right.
And a very famous industrialist is also there. And the wife, in her simplicity, which is Priya's character, which Nikita plays, says that, they're so rich, this, that, and there's a reference. And that's when you see, actually the first time you see Hemant kind of play into the image that is being created of himself. There's an element of megalomania that starts stepping in.
Right.
Which, I would presume, I wouldn't know, but when you've had that kind of a meteoric rise and you come into so much wealth, there is that element of megalomania, self-belief that kind of takes over your life. And he says, no, I'm going to be India's first billionaire.
Right.
And I actually enjoyed that because it's very rare that we get to play a character which is so brazen about his desire. I think as Indians somewhere we've always been taught to, vinamrata se pesh aiye aap, don't talk about your things, and and he just says it, boom, it's very natural. It's not trying to make a big deal out of it. I kind of like that about him, that his to steal from from a wonderful film which happens to be on a similar backdrop, Wall Street. Greed is good.
Right.
And that was kind of his mantra at that point of time. He wanted to achieve, and what happens with him is his reason for doing what he does stays intact throughout the film.
Right.
But, the question, once he's achieved a lot, and then his desire and hunger to achieve even more, and his appetite for that increases, people around him start asking him the question that, when is it enough?
Right. Yeah,
and
exactly.
is it still the same? Are you still doing it for the same reason you initially started off doing it? And these are all layers which I thought were so interesting to bring on, and I enjoyed it because it's nice to be so brazen about what you want and not be apologetic about it. And I think in a sense, what Kookie was also trying to say is representing the time that this film is based, the late 80s, early 90s, was when actually there was a huge attitude change within the country as well. And I think maybe it was started from an economical standpoint, where suddenly the country opened up and, allowed people to come and invest in the country. And there was a certain amount of robust confidence in the stock exchange, and people, which India is traditionally a savings society. You get any money, you either buy gold and put it in the locker, or you buy a government bond and, that's it. It's the first time people started investing because they saw that, oh, we can look for a better lifestyle. So there was some confidence that came into it. And I think Kookie was trying to represent that Hemant Shah kind of led that entire conversation of, hey, it's totally fine. We don't have to be apologetic about being achievers and wanting to achieve really lofty dreams. And I like that attitude.
Right. It's very interesting to hear all this. And so I'll come back to it. Nikita, you play the love interest. Again, a very strong character and not someone who will just agree to what he's saying, but will challenge him at some point.
Yes, definitely. In fact, I think that's the best part of this character, that she's just not somebody who's there to kind of, look pretty and dance around with him and, just be there. She's somebody who's actually going to voice her opinion. I think also his wants are quite driven by the initial phase where he actually wants her. So I think somewhere she kind of gives him that, she gives him the right, the wrong. She shows him the way. She kind of is there to tell him, which is not something that you kind of get to see in a character which is based in the 80s and 90s and is playing a wife like that. So that's a very beautiful thing about her.
Right. Ileana, you play a journalist. It's always interesting to me, for me to interview someone who's playing a journalist. She's obviously a lot more fiery than I am. What is she like? Did you observe anyone around?
I initially thought about it, but I think, when the story and after reading the script, I think when the writing is so strong, I didn't see the need to really look at an external element or a specific person to sort of get some kind of guidance as to how to play it. I kind of just made her my own in a way and portrayed her the way I thought she would be. And Kookie was nice enough to just give me that freedom, and he was guiding me throughout, but he sort of just gave me the freedom to sort of do what I would feel was right for the character. And she's amazing. I think she's a fantastic character. She's strong, she's gutsy, and to be that brazen, in a world that's a majority of powerful men, is quite something. So, So yeah, it was amazing playing. It was very liberating.
Nice. Kookie, this guy obviously does a lot of wrong things to become rich, not necessarily takes the right path, but still there will be a section of the audience, and even I saw a lot of reactions on your trailer. People still look up to him. What are those reasons that you think he continues to be a hero, Abhishek's character, even after, making money whatever way he wants?
See, there was this character obviously brought some sort of a change in the society.
Right.
There was a thought process that he followed, which I think was revolutionary. And of course, the route, the way to get there and what he did, that's exactly what our story is about.
Right.
About actually being able to control that part and not being able to control the part. That's the thin line,
Right.
But the fact that he kind of brought about this thought process, as one of our earlier campaigns, and the poster had the man who sold dreams to India. At that time, people couldn't dream. They didn't want to dream because they were scared of a dream. In 85, 87, I remember India was at the stage of bankruptcy. Our homes, there was a very different kind of a color that we grew up on, the kind of television or the kind of homes that we lived in or the kind of cars that we rode. I mean, my dad had a Yezdi. I still remember our home having water falling and dripping, and people were, there were buckets being kept and things like that. And the kind of technology that India had or the world had at that point of time. Today, if I tell a young person, a 20-year-old, do you know that in 30 years ago, India was broke, and in 3 weeks, it didn't have money to buy fuel. That means the cars would have stopped on the streets of this. And there this kind of person came and came with a thought process. So I think that thought process is what is celebrated. And then, of course, then you see that real side of that human, the character that we have kind of tried to portray.
Abhishek, having played this character and lived it for some time while you played it, how do you see him? Is he a hero? Is he not a hero?
I think what's really nice, Rohit, about the way Kookie and Arjun have written the film is it's up to you to decide once you see it. And it's an individual choice. So what they've done is, literally just tell his story without putting it through any kind of lens.
Okay.
You see it and then you take that decision that is he a hero to you or is he a villain to you? And I like that approach. They're not trying to dictate to you what to think. They've kind of left it up to you to decide for yourself.
Right. Nikita, what Kookie was saying is interesting. I let the actors, own the role and, then it takes shape. How is that when you start a project like this? How do you own a role and what steps do you take on the first few days?
It's a good and a bad thing. It's good because I think you get to experiment, you get to do your own research, you kind of get to put in your own whatever you have in your mind where you see your character going. It's a bad thing because then there is no reference. Right. So especially in my case, I remember Kookie sir gave me absolutely no reference in spite of me asking him constantly that is there somebody I can look at? Is there somebody I can go to? Yeah. So there was nothing available for me that way. Okay. So whatever I had to do, whatever they've done with me is entirely something that we've created. So I think at the end of it, I am also glad that happened because somewhere I could do things that I felt would do justice to this character. Right. And I'm hoping that's worked for it. But I think that was one good thing because now when also people are looking at it, when the song is out and people are seeing glimpses of Priya's character, right. I've literally had 2-3 aunties tell me about how she's so rightly dressed, like, how at that time they used to dress up. So I think somewhere it's kind of worked in our favor that way.
No, it has. From the trailer looks of it, all you guys are absolutely lovely. Ileana, you were talking about it and you said, you didn't want to because what was written was so, so perfect for you. You didn't want to look at other journalists. Do you prefer this school of thought that, okay, it's your character, go own it and let it take shape?
Definitely. I do prefer it in a way. In a way, it's nice if you don't have a reference because sometimes it's kind of, you got more freedom in a way to play it. I think the scary thing about it was that Kookie gave me so much freedom right from the beginning and I like taking direction from a director. So it was almost like, being thrust into the water and not knowing how to swim. It's like, oh my God, I got to learn how to swim by myself and hopefully I'm doing it right. Right. So there were some days I remember right at the beginning when we started filming Kookie, where he would just be like, we'd sit through it, we'd read the screen, the scene, and he'd just be like, all right, just do it the way you think she would do it. And I'm like, all right, okay. And it was just, so in a way, it was exhilarating, I think, and it was exciting sort of playing this character with no real reference. Right. And I haven't really played any real character that's been based off of someone, and I haven't had to follow a reference throughout my entire career, and I kind of prefer that.
Abhishek, I was going through while I was waiting, I was going through the comments on the trailer, and someone said, and which is one of my favorite movies, said, it looks very, your character looks, the style is very similar to your performance in Guru. Do you see any similarities?
No. Apart from me having played both the characters and maybe their trajectory being similar, which is rags to riches, people who are very determined to achieve their dreams. Yeah, nothing similar apart from that. No.
Lastly, to all the three actors, exciting after sitting, 1 year at home, exciting to be on a set, meet fellow actors, directors, everybody on a set. Nikita, you can go first. Yeah.
Oh, yes, it was. It definitely was. I remember the day I went to shoot, we had some patchwork left and I had gone on set. I had just come back so excited that day, even though we shot like half a day, because I was going on set literally after, I think, 6 or 7 months. So it was the highlight, I think, for a long while. Right. And it also makes you realize how much you missed it. This is something, we've been doing on an everyday basis and we kind of take it for granted. But when you don't do it for so long and you're not able to because of not anything in your hands, is when you realize that oh my God, this is something you can't do without.
Right. Very, very well said, because I'm missing meeting all you guys. It's nice to sit in a room and shake hands and chat with each other. Ileana, do you miss that?
Initially, it was nerve-wracking, if I have to be completely honest. Unfortunately for Cookie, he got to face the full brunt of my paranoia, because I was honestly very stressed out. But it took a while for me to sort of relax and realize that, okay, we've taken the necessary precautions. And once that's off your mind, it's amazing being back on set. There's a reason why I do what I do. I love my work. It just fills me with such a massive amount of satisfaction when I get off of set after completing a scene, after knowing my director is happy, after asking him a million times, are you sure you're happy with the shot? It's great. It's really great being on set, and I miss being back on one.
Right. Abhishek, you and your family, with God's grace, everybody is fine. You've got COVID. Before I wrap this, do you want to tell the audience just to wear a mask, basics just to follow, and anything you want to add?
Well, I think if you look at the kind of numbers of cases that are rising exponentially every day, it just goes to show and prove that there's a huge lack of discipline that has crept into all of us. This virus has not gone anywhere. It's still out there. And I would urge all your viewers to please, please, please keep your mask on when you go out in public, maintain social distancing, and, keep washing your hands, keep hand hygiene. That's the only way to get rid of this. And the vaccination drive has started off, and whoever's eligible, please do go and get vaccinated. And we still got to take it seriously. I think somewhere there's this attitude that, oh, it's all done with. No, it's not done with. And it is out there, and we have to be very careful. So please do take care and keep your mask on.
Great. Thank you so much for those words. And all you guys, I really love the trailer. I cannot wait to watch it. I would have liked to watch it before the interview, but I'll watch it immediately after, as soon as they give it to me. Thank you so much, and good luck to all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.